You are now tuned in to Unscripted Podcast.
Welcome to Unscripted.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey, season 2.
Episode dose.
I thought I was gonna burp. I'm sorry.
I was like, what is she doing? How's everybody doing?
I hope you all are doing fine. I know y'all missed us.
Did they? You think?
You know they love us. Our 15. I keep going up.
I was going to say the number goes up every time you say it. Last time it was 13 and now it's 15. Well, maybe we do have 15 listeners. Maybe our 15 listeners missed us.
I know they did.
Product placement.
Smart water.
By Glacio. Glace. We need a sponsor. They're not our sponsor, but we love this water.
Smart water is so good. It's crisp, and I feel smarter, and it helps me with my cramps. What? Study shows.
Oh my God. So anyway, guys, we are back for episode 2, season 2 of Unscripted. Happy MLK Day.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, MLK.
And the great city of Biloxi, Mississippi, renamed MLK Day to, what is it, Good Citizens Day? A Great Americans Day. So to all the people in Biloxi, happy Great Americans Day to you. That was so weird and like out of nowhere.
Where did that come from?
They tweeted something, of course, on Twitter if you tweeted it, but they tweeted something out like, hey, hope everybody has a great Americans Day Monday. And, of course,
Looking at you, Biloxi.
We're looking at you, Biloxi, with all those black folks that y'all got and making all that money. All for impoverished people going to your casinos. We're looking at you.
Y'all know better.
Yeah. So,
like why? Like, seriously.
I don't know. Why they
man up and say why you want to do it.
Right. Like, say it to my face. Like, if you don't like me, that's fine. Yeah. If you don't care for me, if you have racist opinions about me, if you feel a certain way about me, my family, people who look like me, people in the same situation as me, that's fine. But say it to my face. Yeah. That's like, all.
I don't care about MLK, so we're going to change it.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah. Non-emergency municipal offices in Biloxi will be closed on Monday in observance of Great Americans Day. And this is tweeted by City of Biloxi. Their Twitter handle is City of Biloxi, if you'd like to tweet them. They recognize a joint celebration of MLK Jr.'s Day and the Confederate General Robert E. Lee's birthday.
General Robert E. Lee.
That is awesome.
The South will rise again.
Who is celebrating Robert E. Lee and MLK's birthday on the same day?
Oh, bastards that need to die. 70-year-old men that's probably having confirmation hearings.
Girl, I don't even think they're 70. They're probably like 20.
Like, who that still believe in that whole antebellum shit?
Like, you
y'all ain't rising. Like how y'all tell us to forget about slavery. Forget about it.
The South is not rising.
It ain't gonna happen.
It's not. Niggas will rebel before we let that happen. Like, we will go crazy before we let some shit like that happen. I mean, white people will too. I don't think anybody's gonna let that shit happen. We'll let y'all talk y'all shit, but if y'all try to get a little too crazy, shit will get crazy. Like, what did Katniss say? If we burn, you burn with us.
I don't know anything about the Hunger Games. I haven't watched or read.
I'm fat, so anything that has to do with food, I'm on it. When I first saw the Hunger Games, I thought it was a movie about food. Much to my chagrin, it was not. But I still stuck with it. But yes, in The Mockingjay, she basically told the Capitol, nigga, y'all can come for us, but know that if we die, you die.
Amen.
But she cried like 30 times. Like every time in the Hunger Games, she was crying about something. But I really feel like this is the Hunger Games in a certain, like, you know.
It's like, I seriously feel like the elitists, the ones who really don't care, want to rise.
They want to rise. What do you mean?
Like, they don't care about people who need, like, they don't care to hear people like, you know, regular people like us or people who may be in the lower class. It's just like, it's the elitists.
Well,
they want to be the ones on top.
Oh, they want to be in control?
In control.
And they're bringing their cousins right along with them. The so-called alt-right, a.k.a. the racist, white supremacists in the United States.
Oh, yeah, the alt-rights, the hipster racists.
Like, the thing is that white supremacists really think that the elitists care about them. There are some smart ones that know that they don't care, and those are the ones that are separating themselves from Trump now. But then there are the ones who really think that he has their best interest in heart just because they're white. No, he doesn't, and he doesn't care. It's really all of the rich versus the poor at a certain point to them.
So that
it just helps for them to have race as a dividing factor so that
distract
we can't
us.
Yeah, so that we can't all come together and do what we need to do to fight the powers that be. That's the best way to keep us divided.
Saw that New Year's hidden video somebody took of them, Trump's New Year's party. He was saying stuff like, I'm getting rid of Obamacare. It was nothing but billionaires, mind you, in there.
Yeah.
It's nothing but billionaires in there. His buddies, like, we're getting rid of Obamacare. We're doing this and that. It's just going to be us. It's just going to be us. It's going to be super. That's my Trump impression.
Oh, is that what that was? I didn't know what, girl. I thought that was your Groot impression from
Groot?
Yeah, Groot. Well, his name was Gru from Despicable Me. I didn't know what you were doing.
I've never seen that.
Okay, so yeah.
So it was an interesting.
It's been an interesting week. We started off on Sunday with all of the Black excellence at the
Golden Globe Awards, all the nominations, the wins.
And then Trump was like, you think the Golden Globe nominations were great?
Fuck Meryl
Wait
Streep.
till you see my nominations.
Yeah, so in like one day, this is how it started. We were prepared for the confirmation hearing of Jefferson Beauregard Sessions III from Alabama.
From the great state of Alabama.
With so much baggage. So much baggage. Yeah. This guy.
Negative baggage at that.
Bag lady. But, yeah. So he had his hearing today. And.
Today?
Sorry.
I was going to say, did he?
Woo. He had his hearing last week, one day. Well, all week. And a lot of people, the left, think these Democrats, senators, went way too soft on him and others, especially him, knowing his baggage has a lot to do with racism, his beliefs on women, how women should be treated, and especially during rape or sexual assault. A lot of stuff was brought up to him, but looked like it was soft.
Now, I didn't see the things about his stance towards reproductive rights and women's rights, but it doesn't surprise me because I've read a lot about the things that he's done to civil rights workers, things that he said about how he respected the Ku Klux Klan at first, but then he found out that they smoke weed and he can't support that. It's like, hang a nigga, that's fine, but smoke some weed and you have crossed
the line.
You've crossed that fine line.
It's like what he said, basically, when he was questioned about women's rights, civil rights, it was, when he was questioned about that, his whole thing was, I believe in the law.
Yeah, that's his answer to everything. Every time somebody, and he's so, like, as far as being polite, he has the Southern charm down to a T. You would think he was the most innocent person, the most gracious person, just so polite. So, yes, ma'am, no, sir. I do believe that's what I said.
Declare.
I understand why you would say something like that because I was confused at the time, sir. Like, everything is so dripped in syrup and coated in honey. I was like, is he fucking kidding me?
The smell of the honeysuckle.
Oh, my God.
It came over me.
Yes, like, he's such a mess. But the thing is that he kept saying, I will support the law. The thing is that the Department of Justice is not that they're just supposed to uphold the current law. They're supposed to make sure that the law is just and that justice is being served. It's not just about, that's like what Cory Booker said. It's not just about law and order. It's about justice. If there's no justice with the law, then there's no peace. Like, the laws have been followed supposedly millions of times where people's civil rights were infringed upon because the law was so fucked up. That's the purpose of the Department of Justice. You're supposed to fight for the little person, the disenfranchised people, the people who are minorities, the people who don't have a voice like everybody else. And all he could keep saying was, I will uphold the law. What? Hold the law fucking accountable is what you're supposed to do.
Girl, this man, like, it looked like a conversation between two Southern gentlemen. Like, basically what I was watching, like, oh, I love you, Jefferson Beauregard, the way you talked about this and that in sports. I'm like, no, we need to talk about what this man plans on doing.
And talk about the way, like, how he's voted for certain things while he's been a congressman. The way that he handled things when he was the attorney. He was a U.S. attorney in Alabama. The way that he's handled those cases, he's like, I've signed off on many. That's regular practice for people to sign off on things, but we're talking about how you actually prosecuted people that shouldn't have been prosecuted, how you didn't help the Voters' Rights Act by helping those amendments to go through. Basically, you were supporting voter suppression. Like, let's talk about specifically those things.
Didn't he, like, close down certain precincts or something where blacks
Probably,
are supposed to
yes,
vote, and then they're like,
so.
He tried to make it to where they would have to go in
like
certain parts of where
like
we ain't welcome, where we're not welcome. Coleman, Alabama, I'm looking at you. Well, we're not welcome to where they go vote. And they're like, hell no, I'm not going in that area.
Girl, like the voter ID laws, basically what happened is that the U.S. Supreme Court made the southern racist ass Confederate states accountable for the laws that they made when it had to do with voting, when that was part of the Voting Rights Act. And they said, anytime your ass want to pass a law that has to do with voting, your shit need to go through us because we don't trust that you guys are going to make the right fucking decision. Well, these motherfuckers have been fighting that, saying we want to make our own rules and we feel like we shouldn't have to go through the federal government or the Supreme Court because that is a federal overreach. We should be able to do whatever we want to do at state level. That's what the fuck has happened. I think Scalia might have backed that shit. I want to say.
Fuck that nigga.
That was one of the good things that happened in 2016, and yes, I did say it. But he's one of those people that supported states being able to make their own voting laws, or I don't even know what the technical term of it is, but I do know that that's one of the things that happened in 2016 or maybe late 2015 to where they were able to pretty much do what the fuck they wanted to do. And that's what started happening with the voter ID laws. And that's why everybody was so crazy, like, make sure y'all got y'all shit together because they're really trying to keep black people and minorities from voting.
Yeah, it's like some people didn't believe it. I'm like, they don't have to flat out and say that we don't want you niggas to vote.
No,
there's
they can
certain
just
ways.
Make laws. They
can make
laws.
They can go, like I just said, like, well, we're going to shut down this certain area where you usually go vote that's closer to where you live.
Because we don't have enough money to keep it open.
So you have to go way out Bullitt County or Mount Washington to go vote.
Where people don't have access. They don't have cars to get there. Maybe there's no public transportation. People may be disabled, don't have any family. Whatever the case may be, they made it as extremely inconvenient for people as possible to vote in a lot of these southern places. And it's not just the states, it's not necessarily the whole state, but there's a lot of racist counties and cities within the South, within the fucking United States. But the South, definitely, that was the whole reason why the government needed to monitor the laws that they were making. And that's sad.
Yeah.
What does that say? And he is a person that you are considering from the Department of Justice who comes from that era, from that place, and you guys wouldn't even let him be on a judge. They wouldn't let him be a judge. What was it, 96, 86, wherever that was, because of his previous stances on civil rights. What has changed? besides time. It still makes, he still has supported that shit. He still wasn't able to be a judge for that reason. Why is today any different?
The only thing he got, he was like, when he first got put on stand, he said, I just want everybody to know that I am not a racist man at all. I have you know that I once sentenced a white Ku Klux Klan member to death for the murder of a young black female. I'm like, nigga, did you watch was a Time to Kill? The one with Samuel Jackson. I'm like,
them, and I hope they burn in hell.
I'm like, I think he watched that and just put that in there. But that's the only thing he had, and then he just kept saying, like, I will uphold the law, and I would also like to say that armed policemen are going through some terrible times, and
but I mean, in the Department of Justice, all of the work that they've done, especially like in the last 3 to 4 years, just uncovering the shit that's been going on in places like Chicago, places like Baltimore, places like Philadelphia,
it's about to be kept
places like Ferguson, all of that shit, all of that work that the Department of Justice has done, even though a lot of it has been non-effectual, like nothing's happened from it, even though they've uncovered all of this stuff, and there's yet to be a lot of major progress made. Just think of how much worse it will be when someone like him gets that position that doesn't even believe that it's a problem in the first place. There's going to be no voice in his cabinet, in his office. None of his litigators are going to fight for that. And if they try to, he probably won't let them. And the current administration, as it stands, won't fucking listen and won't care, because they are allowed to do what the fuck they want to do.
Like you said, we burn, you all burn.
We burn, you burn. I mean, that should be how it is. Like, if it comes down to something like that, then the people have to stand up for the people if nobody else will.
I'm just so disappointed at some of our leaders, our Democratic leaders.
Enough of them didn't
stand up.
No, I don't understand why a lot of them didn't take the stand.
Like, no, this isn't right. This man did this and did that.
There needed to be more hard evidence, more examples, more reiteration of how disgusting his record has been since he's been in office in Alabama. And then the one black guy, Will Smith, he's such a coon.
He was basically like, I have you know that he once opened up the door for me, and I worked on his team, and
he gave me a peanut butter sandwich,
and he was the nicest man I've ever seen. I don't know why I'm talking to Southern twang, but
he was so disgusting. He's definitely a coon. And Angela Rye, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She's a correspondent. She was on CNN, and it was Anderson Cooper, her, and then the guy. And he was basically saying that just because she doesn't agree with his policy, fool, it doesn't have anything to do with agreeing with his policy. It has to do with whether or not he is going to, and his office is going to, stand up for the rights of people that need it the most. And his record has shown that he has not done that.
Nope.
He does not do that. And he's in Alabama, where there's a lot of disenfranchised people. Like, that's crazy.
One of the poorest.
Yes, one of the poorest states in the United States.
What have they done? If y'all still Kentucky, Mississippi, Alabama, and then some of the poorest places that still vote against their.
And then after John Lewis testified, Donald Trump, the president fucking elect, goes on Twitter and says he should be spending more of his time going through his district that is basically in shambles. What? His district, he's like the 5th district in Atlanta. But what are you talking about? Like, Atlanta has a great economy, great job opportunities, and they're like gentrified. But there's a lot of good shit going on in Atlanta. What is he talking about? Especially there's a lot of good things going on in Atlanta, especially for minorities and people who wouldn't have those same opportunities in other southern cities.
I'd expect that from a draft dodger.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. While John Lewis was getting, what did you say?
I said, while John Lewis was getting beat over the head.
Tortured,
water sprayed on him, attacked by dogs, attacked by horrible, awful, racist people. He was up here driving dodging the draft.
Dodging the draft and keeping black people and other minorities from renting properties in New Jersey.
Making sure, taking out ads condemning and asking for the death of innocent black men. Kids. Let's say kids.
Children.
So, come again?
And ain't even anybody's fucking lawyer. That's the best part of it all. He was a huge a proponent of the young men getting the death penalty.
Central Park 5.
Yes. Yeah. And they were not found not guilty?
Yeah, and even the victim was like, it's not them.
It's them, let's kill him. He's disgusting. The president-elect is disgusting. I'll never support him. I'm not even interested in him. But there's a lot of shit that revolves around him that we need to discuss.
One more thing. I did notice that on Sunday that a lot of the representatives and senators are now saying that they will not attend the inauguration.
And we'll talk more about that in a second, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. This is going to be the end of the video portion of the podcast. You can definitely check out the rest of the podcast or continue listening because it's going to stay on audio. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Acast, Libsyn, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And again, if we're not there, just let us know and we'll get the podcast uploaded there.
We'll have links too.
Absolutely. And please leave us feedback at unscriptedky@gmail.com. Voicemail 502-208-9321. And we'll be right back in a second, guys.
Bye.